gosh.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, 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 judo flip. Chop, 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 judo flip. Chop, chop, chop.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back. And I said welcome back to yet another YouTube video. We are here once again to discuss some music, but a documentary. I thought I saw something outside. But a documentary, yet another documentary this year. Crazy, right? Crazy. So this is to talk about We Are the World by Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson. For some reason, I don't talk about We Are the World like that on this channel. Maybe it's because I don't really hear much about the song nowadays. I don't hear a lot of news about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really. Maybe it's because it's not Michael Jackson's album. Maybe that's what it is. But this is one Michael Jackson track that I don't really talk about like that on this album. The impact, the movement. There was so much around this one song that I'm actually surprised I never covered it. It's very interesting, but it did a lot. You know, it was very successful. It was a charity song that was initially used to, well, still is, to help people in Africa that are starving, you know, that are suffering over there. And you know, it's very sad, you know, to hear about what's going on over there. So it brought all these other people and all these other artists and all these other celebrities to really kind of come in, to really kind of pitch in and help, you know, the charity effort for Africa, because it's a very sad situation for them. I have notes. I took a lot of notes. I don't know how to take notes, and it's on my phone. Yeah, Harry Belafonte is one of the reasons why this song came about. Harry Belafonte was a musician and an activist, and he did a lot. You know, he's a legend in the game, and he thought about a benefit, like something that can benefit Africa. You know, he saw what was going on in Africa and was like, how can we help out with this? How can black people help each other? You know what I'm saying? It started with the around the UK based the UK group Band Aid released a song, Do They Know It's Christmas, and it was a song that was, you know, that was charity. You know, it's for charity. It's to help other people out. So Harry Belafonte was like, how can we help each other out? How can black people help each other out? You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to him. You know, so he got fundraiser Ken Cragen to help bring what Harry Belafonte was saying into reality. So they both got Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie to conduct a song, to make a project, to really kind of make this happen. And We Are the World was born. So in the beginning of the documentary, we start seeing all of these legendary artists. They only have one night to record the song. We see the montage of different artists from different backgrounds, you know what I'm saying? Adding other artists of other ethnicities to really try to, you know, get more awareness and more help for Africa. Lionel was speaking about his career in the 80s. We get that in the beginning, which is pretty interesting to say the least. Harry Belafonte, like I just said, he was actually spoken greatly upon. People loved him. You know, he was, like I said, an activist, singer, and an actor too. And people starving in Africa catches his attention. He wanted to do a concert, you know. He wants Quincy Jones to produce the song. We see Quincy, of course. Now they're all kind of wondering who's going to do the song. Stevie Wonder gets called. Michael Jackson gets talked about. Lionel talked about him meeting Michael. And they talk about what they're going to do for the song. Is it going to be fast-paced? Is it going to be slow-paced, like a ballad? So they create a track, like, just spewing out ideas. Right? And, we get unreleased Michael vocals, which is always fun. They're both humming in the track, you know what I'm saying? And then they figured out what they were going to do. Right? But Lionel also talks about how Michael Jackson's pets were arguing in the background over the phone, which is funny. Yeah. So the AMAs was apparently the same night as the recording of We Are the World, right? And they were all in the same place. And as we go further into the documentary, we found out that Prince was wanted badly on this record. I heard, right, that Prince didn't want to do the record because he thought it would flop. He thought it would be a mess. This, that, and the third. Prince was very big at the time, and of course, people were like, "Oh, Michael and Prince had a big rivalry, and this, that, and the third, and yeah, and to see them in the same room would be monumental, right?" So yeah, Madonna was also wanted. Bruce Springsteen was brought on board. Bob Dylan was brought on board, but Eddie Van Halen couldn't show up. Just stuff like that. Everybody was trying to figure out who they wanted to bring in and who couldn't do it, who could do it, it seemed like to be a big hassle at the time. Lionel and MJ, they figure out the melody, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we hear new vocals of them humming, this, that, and the third. But apparently while they was recording, Lionel sees Michael Jackson's snake and hiss and scream, whatever. That was terrifying. I always hear another story about Michael Jackson bringing pets into the studio or this, that, and the third. Freddie Mercury said something too. So Stevie comes in. He gets on board with the project, and we see all three of them really kind of meshing together on the track. Spewing out more ideas, this, that, and the third. But we kind of figure out what the song is most likely going to be. Lionel lets Stevie, of course, know that the song is finished. And we also see countdown of the days till they start recording the song. You know what I'm saying? The tape is sent to many different artists to, see if they want to be on board, this, that, and the third. Different artists are brought up for suggestions. Again, wondering who will stand next to each other. So we get to the day of recording. I'm sorry, my notes are still I'm trying to look at the audience, look at y'all while I look at my notes. Bob Dickinson gets help to the studio, questions about people who didn't go to the AMAs, you know what I'm saying? Lionel, right, now he was a busy man this night. I would not envy his job. So he had to host the AMAs, perform twice, and won some awards in the process. That's amazing. That was lit to me. Lionel did his stuff tonight. You know what I'm saying? But Michael Jackson was not at the AMAs. He was recording. His job was big too. Michael Jackson was recording. And we see new footage of him recording, which I thought was amazing to see. We see his takes and everything like that. We see what didn't go in, what kind of did go in a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But Michael, it was revealed to me that he didn't want to be in the video at first. He didn't want to be in it. He actually thought it was too much exposure, which, Michael, what? But thank God he ended up being in the video, and thank God he performed this, that, and the third. Thank God everything went the way it did with We Are the World, because who knows how different the song would have been taken if he wasn't a part of it, except for just writing. Yeah. Cindy also didn't want to be there at first because her boyfriend at the time kind of urged her not to do it, I guess. But, thank God she came too. So we get to the recording, and singers are actually surprised to see each other, see who's there. It's like, you know how people say when you go to heaven, you'll be surprised who's there and everything like that. Maybe that was too drastic of an example, but, y'all get what I'm trying to say. We see artists interacting with each other, and we also see all of them recording together. And, certain singers were out of range. Certain singers, couldn't sing this or that between takes. It was just kind of like, ugh. It was kind of like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? This, that, and the third. Tensions were kind of a bit high throughout recording because they thought it was going to be a train wreck. So Quincy, was silencing everybody in between takes because they couldn't talk in between takes. They couldn't do that. And we see an artist start walking out. You know what I'm saying? It was like, who's going to stay, who's not? We see tensions like that because, it's a lot of different personalities. People have egos, and Quincy wrote on top of the studio as before these artists walked in, saying that leave your egos at the door. Because, well, these are a bunch of big artists, and yeah, there's a bunch of big egos too. So, and we see that throughout the documentary. So, people worried about it's going to crash and burn, Stevie gives a suggestion for everybody to speak in Swahili. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people stopped taking it serious after Stevie said that. But Stevie's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Stevie was just trying to build up the motivation. You know what I'm saying? Stevie was just joking around. Ray Charles and other artists started to kind of get impatient. They started to tell Quincy, like Ray told Quincy, yo, come on. What's going on? We need to wrap this up. People are starting to get impatient and kind of frustrated because, well, people are ready to go home, I guess. You know what I'm saying? The chorus gets finished. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that part. And Harry Belafonte, as we already just spoke about him, he was very inspirational throughout the recording session, which is always great to hear. In between breaks, Ray Charles plays a different version of the song on the piano. Thought that was interesting, and Stevie kind of, goes in a little bit. And people kind of joke around saying that when Stevie was trying to guide Ray to the bathroom, like the blind leading the blind, that was funny. There's some funny moments throughout the documentary, and wholesome moments, very wholesome moments. Everybody asking for each other for an autograph. Thought that was very sweet of them to do. Apparently Lionel, Sheila E., they was on the phone with Prince at a certain point. But Prince told Lionel that Prince would come, but it was just to play a guitar. But Sheila E. knew Prince wouldn't show up. Like, she eventually thought that they were just using her to get Prince to come because they really wanted her to come through. They really wanted him to come through. And Prince and Sheila E. eventually said that she was kind of disappointed because she wasn't able to sing a verse and thought that she was being used. So my heart goes out to her because that has to be a bit sad right there. Some people were confused at certain parts they were getting, whether they should sing here, they should sing there, or why are they singing there, or why am I not singing here? You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like very confusing. All right. Quincy was, of course, concerned with time. He's starting to raise his voice a little bit, started to get a little like, oh, what's going on? I'm getting frustrated. But yeah. One of my favorite parts of the documentary is singing. Everyone's singing. We see singers messing up. People are getting frustrated again. We also see Cindy taking her takes, this, that, and the third. She was doing good. You know what I'm saying? Her singing is very powerful. Yeah, but we see that Michael talks to her saying that it sounds like people are laughing while she's doing her takes. But no, it ends up, I guess, just being her jewelry. and it turns out that her jewelry was kind of messing up her takes a little bit. You know, the clacking and, you know, mics pick up everything, and the jewelry was picking up in the mic, you know, blah, blah, blah. So she takes off all her jewelry, and that was a lot of jewelry she had on. Cindy was very adorable throughout this documentary. She was very wholesome. She was really adorable. You know what I'm saying? She had a very nice spirit towards her, and she seemed to be a very genuine female to kick it with. You know what I'm saying? Everyone laughs a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Bob Dylan, we tend to cut to him after Cindy has her takes with I'm sorry, I forgot their names. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. Trying to remember everybody's name is a hassle. Bob Dylan, you know, we kind of see him. He's trying to get, you could tell, even in the beginning of the documentary, you can kind of see that he's a bit more reserved when he was singing. He was a bit more lower, you know, kind of like very like, maybe nervous to do it. I don't know. But, you know, he's trying to get comfortable, and Stevie ends up helping him out, which was also another wholesome moment. You know, Stevie helps him finish his part, and, you know, he killed it, you know, and Quincy also comes in and gives Bob Dylan a hug. You know, Bob Dylan's one of the most successful artists of all time. You know, he's a legend in his own right. And yeah, you know, it makes me realize that these people are really just human. You know what I'm saying? Like, he seemed to be a bit more reserved and uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? But he ends up, when he gets comfortable with help from a fellow artist, he does amazing. He kills it. Bruce Springsteen's voice was a concern at first, right? But it got better later on, and he killed that. He killed his part. So, recording ended up being done. You know what I'm saying? The recording was done, right? And everybody killed their moments and stuff like that. And yeah, Diana was crying because she didn't want that whole moment to end. Yeah, they all ended up leaving at 8 o'clock a.m. They was up a while. Everybody was exhausted, but people were just relieved to finally get it over with. So radio started to play the song, and it sparked a whole movement. It sparked a lot of airplay. A lot of people started playing the song, and in the end, we see Lionel talking about how they placed... Lionel ends up talking about how the place where they all recorded, it felt like a home. It felt like home to him. You know what I mean? He talks about how Michael was standing over there. Cindy was singing this over here. Diana was over there. Bruce was right here. Bob, Ray, Charles. Well, he didn't say everybody's name, but we get it. You know what I'm saying? It was like a home to him. And it was very wholesome and very sweet to see how much he carries on everybody's legacy throughout this one song. And it was, you know, he got emotional in the end a little bit, you know what I'm saying? A little tear jerker a little bit here and there. He really loved everybody in that room, and he was so glad that he got to spend that moment with them and spark something that will last for 40 years. We Are the World was an amazing record, and I'm glad everybody that was a part of it was a part of it. All these sweet people. It was a very wholesome documentary. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this. This is one of my favorite documentaries I think I've watched in a little minute. I'm looking at you, Thriller 40. Look, let me be real with you. Thriller 40 was a good documentary, but it taught us a lot that we already know about Michael, right? This got us a lot of new information that we didn't know. Thriller 40 taught us a lot about Michael that we already knew. Well, maybe not taught, just a retaught. Excuse my words a little bit, you feel me? But yeah, it's true. This documentary was better than Thriller 40 in my opinion. We Are the World is good, even though it wasn't focused all on Michael or all on Lionel. It was focused on all these different artists that they all brought together for a better cause. And Michael was all about the cause too. Great documentary. I found it amazing. I found it pretty good. This documentary was very solid, and it was just it did its job. It definitely did its job, and wow, that was a great documentary. It really brought us other personalities and the sweet side of all these different artists, and I really appreciated it. I really did. It was very solid to me. So that was the end of the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it as much as I did. The greatest night in pop, right? This was amazing. You know what I'm saying? This really did, and it did its job to help save a lot of people in Africa from starving. You know what I'm saying? The cause is real. You know, it's still a cause to this day. People in Africa are still starving to this day. That hasn't stopped, but I'm glad to see all of these artists put aside their egos just to create something that can help tons of other people who need it more than they do. It's just beautiful. It was beautiful to see that, and to hear Diana was crying. You know, it's like I wish Prince and Madonna was on this record. Where was Whitney? I wish Whitney was doing this. I think Whitney was doing the Martin Luther King song with other artists as well at this time. I think. But yeah, that was the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the documentary. If you watched it, you feel me? Tell me what you guys think. You feel me? This is a very strong and impactful song, and I'm glad it got some attention this year. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that Michael's contribution was not diminished. That's all I can say. And I'm glad this helped a lot of people too. Yeah, I don't think you'll see this now. I think everybody's ego now is much more stronger than people's egos back in the day. That is some crazy stuff how it is now. Everybody's too divided now. I don't think we'll ever see something like this now. I don't know. I don't think so. Everybody will do their own little tracks here and there, like Usher's I Cry. But will everybody come together to help each other out for one cause? I can't say that I would think so. Maybe not. You'll never see another ladies' night. You'll never see another stuff like that, because with all these female rappers, you know, beef with each other now, we'll never see something like that. We'll never, like, big collaboration efforts I would love to see more of now. Like, say if all the R&B singers got together, like Bruno, Usher, Dre, Chris, Beyonce, you know, Rihanna, like, will all of them ever come together to create one big song? And not just R&B. Let's get rappers in it, bro. Let's get pop singers. What's a random pop now I could say? Demi Lovato. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what this was back in the day. That's what this was back in the day. And, yeah. I keep rambling, but y'all get the gist. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And, yeah.